Greetings, everyone. I'm Adya, and today I will be covering the topic Economic Impact Assessment of Climate Risk and Coastal Income, a UDA Augmented Analysis. I'm a summer research intern in Maritime Research Center, and I'm from IIT Kanpur. So let's get started. Yeah, I would be covering all these topics starting from India's coastline introduction, blue economy powerhouses, tide of challenges, problem statement, and then I would be discussing an UDA based framework, starting with the India's coastline, where land meets opportunity. India has an extensive coastline which extends for about 11,098 kilometer long and ranks among the world's largest, spanning over 9 states and 2 union territories. The coastal areas drive about 4% of India's GDP, handling about 90% of external trades and generating about 8 billion from the fishing, aquaculture, and tourism sector. The coastline hosts a crucial naval bases and strategic ports, vital for safeguarding Indian Ocean and sea lanes. And then we have 250 million people live along the coast, which is about 20% of India's population have their livelihood dependent on the coastline. And then rich Indian Ocean also supports a rich biodiversity and resources, supporting over a millions of livelihoods. The coast is a house to over 4,000 marine species. Let's talk about the blue economy. Starting from the ports and trades, India has 12 major ports and around 200 non-major ports, which handles about 1,400 million tons of cargo. The maritime research support about 95% of India's trade by volume and 70% by value. And then we have the coastal tourism. The coastal states attract about 30% of India's foreign tourists, anchoring the country's beach and heritage tourism. And the coastal tourism offer a huge untapped potential to boost jobs and regional economies. And then we have the fishing and aquaculture sector. As India is the world's second largest fish producer with total production of 195 lakh tons. The marine product exports reached about 7 billion in 2024, which is nearly a 10x increase since 2003, supporting 30 million livelihoods nationwide. As we can see from this graph, there is a steady rise in the east and west coast from the year 2002 to 2014, due to which we can bank on the fact that the coastal and marine tourism is projected to contribute about a significant 26% to India's booming blue economy. And India also recorded 9.52 million foreign tourist arrivals in 2023, after which we can see that government has also started taking initiatives like Sagarmala and Swadesh Darshan 2.0 and the Bharat Cruise Tourism Mission, which are actively developing coastal tourism infrastructure and promoting destinations. Due to which we can see Goa sees a 10.5% surge in tourist arrivals in Q1 of 2025, and Gujarat has also become the first state to join the Cruise Bharat mission. Now let's have a look at India's port power. From this graph, we can see that major cargo ports grew even after a dip in 2020 due to the COVID setback. Still, 9 of Indian ports made it to World's Bank Top 100 list, where Visakhapatnam port soared to the 19th position globally. And India also saw a 2x growth in total income of major ports over a decade, from 11,000 760 crore to 24,200 crore, driven by modernization and a solid CAGR of 7.5%. And now coming to the India's fisheries sector, which is also now a sunrise sector. India ranks as the world's second largest fish producer, with the total output rising at 8% CAGR. As we can see from the figure, most of the India's fish production growth is driven by the inland fisheries, due to which India's fish output has been doubled to 195 lakh tons over the 11 years. In the second graph, we can see the trend of percentage growth of GVA of fisheries, in which we in 2017 to 18 there was a peak of 25% due to a disease breakout in Vietnam, and Thailand, which are the major competitor of India in seafood sector. This shows a promising growth despite a dip to 7.42% in 2020. Fisheries kept a strong CAGR about 9 to 10%, outpacing the agricultural sector, which is about 3 to 4%. India has been an exporter in seafood sector, as we can clearly see from this graph that marine export has hit a USD of 8.7 billion in 2023 and has been growing at a CAGR of around 6%, strengthening India's foreign exchange earnings. In figure 2, we can see a market-wise export share comparison, where India and China has been a consistent importer of India's seafood products, where USA remains India's top market, now taking over about over 40% of exports in 2023, which was largely driven by the shrimp market. Now let's have a look at the shrimp and seaweed aquaculture, which is India's most competitive edge in seafood export. As we can see from this pie chart, the 70 to 75% of export that we do in marine product is from the frozen shrimp sector. And why shrimp and seaweeds dominate India's marine exports is due to its higher export value, high global demand, export-focused aquaculture, and government support and policy. As we can see from here, from 2010 to 2024, there was a 7x increase in shrimp production, due to which India is now the second largest shrimp exporter globally. And then coming to the seaweed sector, it's a booming sector due to as the export prices has jumped from 0.84 to $0.84 to around $153.22 per kg, with a market size set to double by 2033. And due to its low cost and low investment, farmers can also have a very profitable livelihood from this. Now, how the policies have contributed to all this growth, as we can see from the graph on the top, that funding in the PMMSY scheme, after the introduction of PMMSY scheme, the funding in fisheries sector has seen a growth of about 1,100%. And in the graph below, under this PMMSY scheme, we are targeting to achieve about 27 million ton fish production by 2030, due to which the fish farms will be able to produce nearly two-thirds of India's fish supply by 2030. Now, I will look at the challenges that we face, that the sectors are facing. The supply chain disruption, due to which the seafood and agricultural exports have backlogs hurting the coastal MSMEs, and as most of the farmers have limited access to the a formal credit system, they have a higher risk. And then the climate change threats. Cyclone have caused about an economic loss of 15,000 to 20,000 crore annually. And then market fluctuation and tariffs. Recent US shrimp tariffs hit Andhra Pradesh aquaculture hard, due to which we can see the headlines made like US tariff hits Andhra's shrimp exports prices were dipped to 10 to 15% as aqua farmers feel the pinch. Now, I will talk about my problem statement. India's coastal economy faces rising risk from climate change, trade disruption, threatening livelihoods and national economic stability. And all these problems are not properly assessed by traditional systems that often overlooks the underwater assets, supply chains, and marine ecosystem. This limits our ability to design targeted and proper strategies. Hence, our study applies the underwater domain awareness framework to bridge this gap. So, using this UDA framework, especially the blue economy and sustainability and climate change pillars, we can help the coastal economy tackle supply shock, climate risk, credit gaps, and export volatility through smarter planning and data-driven tools and a proper infrastructure. For the supply chain resilience, blue economy pillars support digital shipping and corridors, And climate adaptation, marine environment and disaster management pillar enables early warnings and coastal mappings, mangrove restoration. For better finance access, UDA driven data tools can help coastal MSMEs and fisheries get secured loans with lower risk. Then for export stability, shifting to value-added seafood products and diversifying target markets can help coastal exporters reduce dependency on a single country. Thank you. That's it from my side.